Been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion?
It's Friday morning and I'm particularly very happy to say welcome. The week is gradually coming to an end and this has been God's thing and he has been doing this all along. No one was there to help God make sure that you were still alive even this morning. His grace and mercy, never comes to an end. And give it all to God for giving us this wonderful day. It's a Friday, the 10th day in the month of May, the year 2024. And this is Unity Train on your Unity Radio, FM and TV from the hills of ZINARIYA here in Plateau State, Nigeria. We are reaching you live. I am so happy and I said Jumat Mubarak to all my Muslim brothers and sisters. Before I get to find myself deep into the main business of the day, I have it this way. Security is your business. Let peace be your every moment companion. Keep your environment clean, ensure environmental hygiene. Do not stigmatize people living with disability. When you see something, don't say something. Just say the thing. That is it. Once again, Jumat Mubarak to all my Muslim Ummah. Iji Adamu is my name, but you can call me Kubi if you like. I'll be just fine. Okay, in the studio to my right-hand side is Barrister Paul Zaruma, a Jos-based legal practitioner and unbiased political analyst. He's coming your way with nothing less than a big good morning to our listener even right now. So, let's begin.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, viewers and listeners, depending on where you are receiving these signals from. This is another wonderful Friday. I wish the Muslim Ummah Juma'at Mubarak, and I do hope you will stay tuned and enjoy this show this morning.
I'll be very happy if you make a deliberate decision to join us on our Facebook page. You can do that at Unity Radio FM/TV Charts. Like it, share, and comment. I get to read your comments later on. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It promises to be very, very interesting. And any moment from now, I'll be introducing Professor Paveno H. Bame. He's on his way to be part of this very wonderful program. And so, I have this for in a glance this morning. Even this day shall pass away. Truly, truly, I say to you, you shall weep and lament, but the world will rejoice. You shall be sorrowful, but your sorrow will turn into joy. John chapter 16, verse 20. Life is in a state of constant motion. These days, I am fascinated by the speed of time. 1 minute, it's morning, and before one blinks, it's night. Oh, I sit down to write the day's reflections, and when I think I have only sat for a few minutes, I realize I have just spent the last 3 hours pondering the points in the readings. Wow, the book of Ecclesiastes was right when it says that for everything there is a season and a time for every matter under the heavens, a time to weep, a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance. Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1 to 4. Regardless of the situations you find yourself in today, it will not last forever. I think I love that. God knows all your needs. Just trust in Him, and it's going to be fine. This is powered by Honorable Felix Agbonko, JP from the Igbo community. Thank you, JP, Honorable Felix, for sending in this. All right, let's just begin to look at issues. Before we throw in the first issue as we have them on national dailies, let's look at what we have on the plateau. It's still about compliance, okay, citizens' compliance, to the government of the day's policies to make sure things work well for us on the plateau. So please, again, I will let Barrister to lend his voice in the score before we pick our first story. Barrister.
Yes. Plateau is beautiful. People are also enjoying the metro buses that are faring around town. The weather, the temperature is wonderful. For those who are coming into Plateau State for the first time, we welcome you, and we do hope you will enjoy the peaceful, quiet, and tranquil weather of Plateau State. In case you are going to Bukuru or other parts of the state, enjoy the ferry buses that the government have made available, enjoy the cruise, and then that will be some of the hallmark that will welcome you to Plateau State. We also encourage the market people, as usual, to abide by the regulations of the government. I was passing through Tomatoes Market this morning before coming to the studio. I see total compliance. The space was enough. Cars are parking. No traffic jam. The place is free, unlike it used to be. The effort of the government is well commendable. We really appreciate what is happening, and we do pray that it should not stop there. The roads that pass from Faringada roundabout to Bauchi Junction really need dualization. Also, the roads that pass through Ring Roads to British America also need dualization. We are calling on the workaholic Governor Caleb Mutfang to consider those axes too. And then there are people that are also complaining of water shortage. Well, could be on a sad note yesterday, Kogi State University students preparing for their first semester examination, bandit invaded the university and kidnapped a lot of students, which is a very sad development. About a lot of students are kidnapped. As at this moment, the number of the students being kidnapped is not yet certain. It is quite unfortunate. The timing of the attack is so devastating for bandits to attack students while writing their exams. Also, on a sad note, yesterday we lost one of our players who played for the 1993 football. The younger brother of Ibrahim Tijani Babangida, for the younger brother of Tijani Babangida, Nigerian wonderful left winger. He is also known as Ibrahim Babangida. It was Tijani Babangida that was actually driving that car on their way from Kaduna town to Zaria. They rammed into a moving truck, and we lost Ibrahim Babangida, who played for the Golden Eaglet. That was a sad one. We pray that the football community will be comforted. For the elder brother, who is Tijani Babangida, he's receiving treatment, him and his wife in the hospital. We pray that they recover and they recuperate from the injuries and the shock of this accident.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister. Of course, our heart goes to as many as are bereaved, and we just pray to those who, for some reason, you are going through any sort of health challenge. We pray that God again remembers you, this time not for judgment, but for mercy, for grace, for love, for healings. I pray that you do the needful and you trust God. Keep trusting God no matter what. There are more sick people on the street than you have them in the hospitals. But then, God is omnipresent. He's everywhere at the same time. I so believe in. So He's reaching out to you. Thank you. This is Unity Trend on Unity 93.3 FM and TV. So let's just start looking at these issues. Okay, before then, the Mr. Rackers, Maffing, Mrs. Hannatu Petrus Bewaran, all of National Film Institute, Monkoyome Jovi, and all staff and management of National Film Institute. Just my regards to you. Okay, court imposes travel ban on Serica and daughter for the issues of 2.7 billion issue. Maybe we just begin here before we look at security. Let's start from...
yes, Hadi Sarika, the former minister with the Federal Republic of Nigeria, himself and his daughter were arraigned by the EFCC, the Federal High Court, and then they both pleaded not guilty, and as a result of their plea of non guilty, the court has granted bail to both of them and imposes travel ban on each of them. You know, the sad thing is that some of these government functionaries, they involve family members into official matters, and that is why you will see the courts or the EFCC dragging the family members to court. But if you put away your family members from official matters, there is no how the court will, EFCC will arraign your family member with you in court.
Yes.
So whatever privilege we are having, official privilege, we should make sure that our family members stay away from our official function. And you can see that even recently the child of Bola Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu, there are a lot of fingers pointing at him that he is one of the directors of a company that is going to embark on a massive project from Lagos to Calabar and some other coastal area. They call it coastal routes. So, you know, these are some of the kind of things that at times bring family members into the forefront of some of this harassment and then investigation.
Okay.
Because once you are in power, your family members shouldn't be involved. You know, last time I remember the former Prime Minister of Israel lost his election because his wife was involved in certain official function and she was interfering with allocation that was meant for domestic use, official allocation. And then the opponent took advantage of it, and then they did their propaganda campaign, and that was how he lost that election. So it is, unfortunately, in our climb, that has not been the case. But we are looking at it that politicians should make sure that family members stay away from official functions and things that got to implicate them one way or the other as a result of official investigation.
Barrister, while talking about family members interfering and being part of some things that are there, maybe governance, well, in the case of the company that is said to be awarded the contract for this construction, if the son of His Excellency, you know, is one of the top members or, you know, or the owners of this company, construction company, is there anything wrong to have someone who is a child, who is a relations to the leader, you know, having to do such a contract? Is it anything wrong? Is it about corruption or something else?
Yes, as it is on the surface, it may not be a very wrong thing on the surface of it, as long as Nigerian laws are concerned, that if you are a president and your son is a director with a company, then the company shouldn't function anywhere in Nigeria. No, there is no law that prohibits that in Nigeria. But, you know, the problem will start when you begin to look at the nitty-gritties of that contract, when you begin to look at the details of the contract, and then so many other things involved. You know, that is the point you will discover whether it is wrong or not, because you will see a lot of, you may see some compromises here and there. So, but where there is no compromises, where the rules of engagement are followed, where the what do you call it? The bidding, the contract bidding, where the contract bidding is open and transparent, then I don't think if the president's son involvement shouldn't be an issue. But if we have a situation, if we find ourselves in a situation where the bidding was not open, the bidding was not transparent, other companies were not invited to come and do the bidding, just like the case in Nigeria today, that most contracts are not being subjected to bidding. They are not being publicized. They are not. So you just see some, companies will just go direct right up front and
bring in someone of that choice.
But if due process is followed and then eventually the hammer fell on the company, on that company, I don't think it's a bad thing.
All right, thank you so much. Well, for the highlights, Abuja school closes down for a week after autopsy reveals that pupils died of electricity shock. Another one says bandits killed Nigerian soldier, abduct one other in Zamfara, demand 100 million naira as ransom. And another headline said KEDCO official found dead after phone call from ex-colleague. And the bill seeking death penalty on drug trafficking passed for third reading in Senate. And Plateau, 1,336 killed, 29,554 displaced in 3 months, and this is by Amnesty International. So, Governor Mutfwang meets Pastor Adeboye, seeks prayers for peace in Plateau State. And I think Barrister will just go to bill seeking death penalty on drug trafficking past for third reading in Senate. Before then, I have the singular honor to introduce the safe arrival of long-awaiting or erudite public and current affairs analyst. You know him as that man who believes in the greatness of Nigeria. He's Professor Proveno H. Bamayi, Dean Faculty of Veterinary Medicine, University of Jos. He is seated. He'll be saying a good morning to our listener and viewer right now.
All right. Good morning. A very big good morning to viewers and listeners and Kubi and Barrister. It's a beautiful day.
Yes.
I've been touring the city and I've seen the fantastic buses. They are moving already. I call them the Mutfwang buses. I had the privilege of following one of them behind to take a close look. I noticed that the tier leather, the leather is still on the seats. But they are cruising around the city and it's fantastic. And I can also report that most part of the city have complied with the directives to clear the road. However, around terminus itself, there is still a small challenge there because some people are still bent on bringing things near the road to sell. But hopefully, with time, they would comply. But substantially, terminus area, we give it maybe 70% compliance. This morning, later in the afternoon, things might change and maybe the percentage would drop to 40 or even 30 because once it's approaching afternoon, many people bring out their goods to the roadside to sell. So, but permit me to just say a very happy birthday to Dr. Patrick Dakum, public health physician, and well, he was the Labour candidate for governorship in Plateau State. He turned 66 years today. So he's an older brother to the governor in terms of age. So Dr. Patrick Dakum, happy birthday, many happy returns. And permit me to also quickly, since today is Friday prayer day, the Muslim Ummah are having a wonderful time and we'll be praying later. And it's wonderful to pray for the nation and pray for the country and pray, especially for Plateau State. So Jumaat Mubarak to our Muslim faithful. And I want to also welcome to the Plateau Pastor Adeboye, who is already within the city and who is all roads will be leading to Casa camp, redemption camp at Casa near the airport. Over this weekend it will be a wonderful, fantastic time of programs today, tomorrow and Sunday. So we welcome Daddy Gio, Pastor Adeboye. You're especially welcome to Plateau State, and Plateau State is glad to have you.
Yes, we're glad to have you, and Your visits, of course, again, command lots of, grace. The atmosphere will again be charged, and that is what we join in prayers, and particularly in terms of peaceful coexistence, and that we will see it again become what it is, because for us on the plateau is home of peace and tourism. Thank you. Now, before Prof, you get to talk about issues, let's begin from a barrister. Bill seeking death penalty on drug trafficking passed the third reading in the Senate. Or I would have loved to just say the friend to put it there.
I will just lend my voice to that, but I will comment, Prof. Since he has been coming to the studio today, he's looking different, particularly for those who are for our listeners. Prof is looking like what lawyers call life benchers.
All right.
He's well suited.
Yes.
Yeah, gorgeously suited.
Yes, so he is looking more like a senator than an analyst today this morning. And so you may want to see that. So please go to our Facebook page, and you would be happy you did. Just sing us, and I'm put in the middle. That's wonderful. All right.
Well, on the issues of Bill seeking death sentence for drug traffickers, I think it is a welcome development, but I think we have more pressing issues than drug trafficking. Drug trafficking is a menace. It's a big challenge to the country. It's a universal challenge. But I think death sentence should have been, that's the problem with our politicians. It should have come on the financial crimes and economic crimes and public office corruption. That should have been like it is in China and other countries. That would have been where they would, but most of it, they are making it on drug traffickers. How about those who are plundering our economy? How about those who are destroying this nation? Nigeria is, as it is being said, is too rich to be poor. And those people who have subjected us to perpetual poverty, if you like, penury, they are there. You will see somebody with still billions of naira, he will be sentenced to prison maybe 8 years. And by the computation of time, he may not spend the calendar 8 years. He will spend maybe 4 years, 3 years, and he will be out of prison. And then the next thing, they will form a pardon committee. In law, there is amnesty, there is pardon, there is mercy, and then, so amnesty is what they give you before you are arrested. So that's what you enjoy before you are arrested. Government can grant you amnesty. Mercy is what normally come after a conviction. When you are conviction, you plead adukutos, you plead for mercy. Then we have a pardon. Pardon is where after you have served your sentencing, then the government can say, because by law you are not supposed to contest anything or giving certain appointment. If you are a convict, you are an ex-convict, you cannot be a military man, you cannot be a policeman, you cannot occupy certain office in the politics, you cannot even contest an election. So they will now grant you pardon so that to enable you contest any election. So these are some of the things that they are doing in this country, that we are saying that capital punishment should be meted on corruption. Not drug trafficking, yes, fine. It will not stop them from also expediting action in moving bill. These are the kind of bill we want, so that this country will take shape.
Perhaps.
Yes, we know that drug has invaded our homes. Drug is destroying the country. Drugs is doing a lot of harm, not only in Nigeria. Drug also is giving a bad world view of Nigeria. Our international image has been damaged as a result of activities of drug traffickers. So it is also a very important bill, but we are also calling on the members of the National Assembly to expedite action in making sure that economic crimes, corruption also receive a capital punishment.
Yes, drugs plays vital reasons for some of this corruption.
Add to that, more Nigerians die from corruption than from drug trafficking.
Yes.
So the politicians' attention should have first been on corruption. All this plundering the economy. They are cherry picking which bills, to present and to approve, and all that. It's a welcome development as far as I'm concerned if you are imposing a capital punishment for drug trafficking. But you should have started from, if you want to follow the example of China, those corrupt politicians should also face capital punishment. Impose the death penalty for those who are involved in stealing money meant for millions of Nigerians. Millions of Nigerians are dying in hospitals today. Dying because somebody stole the money that could have been used for us to have fantastic hospitals. Many millions of Nigerians are on the streets, starving to death and committing suicide because the money that would have empowered them was stolen by politicians. And those politicians are getting honorary degrees from universities. They are being celebrated. They are moving around free. And some of them are the ones that are shouting now to impose death penalty for drug trafficking. Now, why didn't they sit down and say, look, which one is more of a problem? Is it the drug traffickers? The drug traffickers, yes. But how many Nigerians are involved in drug trafficking? To what extent has it affected us? Well, it has affected our image. But corruption has affected our image even more. Nigeria is noted for corruption around the world more than it is even noted for drug trafficking. So, if there is any capital punishment that they should have been thinking about, they should have thought of capital punishment for corruption. If you're in public office and you steal and you use your office to gratify yourself and your family members and friends, impose capital punishment. Let's start from there. By the time we start from there, and then you say drug traffickers, people are not going to complain.
Yes.
But now, people are going to complain because the politicians are more interested in protecting themselves, in perpetrating and perpetuating corruption in public offices than they are in ensuring that Nigeria becomes a great and a wonderful and self-sustaining nation. So, as far as I'm concerned, the bill is self-serving. These politicians are only interested in things that will benefit them, things that are, protecting their own interest and whatever. Even if they're involved in drug trafficking, these politicians, of course, they will not be involved in it directly. They're going to use some other people, some mules, some lagbajas, some other people here and there, and so you can never get them. But what they should have done is to say, look, what is the most pressing problem of Nigeria today? Is it the matter of drug trafficking? Or is it corruption among our leaders, corruption among public servants, corruption among our political leaders? That is where the capital punishment should have started from.
Okay, thank you. It has been so unarguably fantastic. Okay, so it's time for a short break, our listener and viewer. We'll be coming back again, and when we do, you will not regret staying tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your
Unity? Unity TV.
politician. It's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
This is Friday, and thank God it is. And, you know, it's not just Friday, it's the 10th day in the month of May, the year 2024. And this is Unity Trend on your radio and TV. We're glad to come your way live from the hills of ZINARIYA in just North Plateau State, Nigeria. Iji Adamu remains my name, but you could call me Kubi and I'll be just fine. It's been and is still in the studio at the moment. Professor Paveno H. Mayi, he gave you some big good morning earlier on. I'll let him do that, especially because we are taking some more from issues that we have as the trend on our national dailies. Before we begin again, to my right, seated in the studio now, is Mr. Victor Damtur. Okay, he's coordinator STF Youth Football Tournament. It means that later on we'll be talking about youth football tournament in the city of Jos. You'll hear some more about that later on, so please stay tuned. But before then, let me just turn to Professor Pavano Hetsubameyi. You were just talking about having to deal with corruption. Not because you don't buy to the idea of having you know, a capital penalty to drug traffickers. But however, where it should have begun, maybe those who are involved in financial mismanagement.
You know, I was in Malaysia for years where they imposed a capital punishment for drug trafficking. And many Nigerians have been executed, a number of Nigerians. And probably more after I left. When I was leaving, about 122 Nigerians were on death row waiting for execution for drug trafficking in Malaysia. Singapore also imposes a death penalty for drug trafficking. Indonesia imposes a death penalty for drug trafficking. Of course, China is even more strict because for them even just a little bit, because in some of the countries, you have to be caught with maybe 0.5 kg or 1 kg or certain grams. In China, they are even very strict when it comes to this. Now, in all these countries, they also don't joke when it comes to corruption. In Malaysia, for example, the former prime minister was imprisoned for corruption. In fact, he was a serving prime minister when he was removed and prosecuted and imprisoned. Can you do that in Nigeria? Will you imprison Bola Ahmed Tinubu even if he leaves power? Tell me in Nigeria who among the former presidents of Nigeria went to prison for corruption. Yet all of them, I have evidence of corruption against all the former presidents of Nigeria. But none of them has been put in prison. Now, why are our politicians more interested in drug traffickers? The drug traffickers, you can impose capital punishment. But number one, impose capital punishment for corruption. If you impose capital punishment for corruption, all the politicians that steal billions and public office holders that steal billions, by the time you make an example of them and one of them is executed, one of them receives the death penalty and it is carried out, I tell you, all the other politicians will have learned the lesson.
Okay,
and Nigeria will have been sanitized.
Yes, Prof, let's go back to talk about, having to say that there is hardly any who was there to lead this country that was not found wanting well, not proving anyway, but just to talk about, for you to be a leader and a president in a country as ours, Nigeria, of course, it's not something you do alone. You have lots of people, there to support the vision, the ideology, and drive it up until, your tenure ends. But then, let's talk about, I want to believe you are saying that some people, who served with all of these leaders in Nigeria were found one thing. Is that what you are saying, or the presidents themselves?
It's both ways. If you are the president of the country and people are stealing money under you, your political appointees, the people you appointed as ministers, the people you appointed into positions to head different commissions and organizations are stealing money under you as president. Are you going to tell me that you don't know that they're doing it and that your hand is not in it and that you're not receiving some percentage of the money that is stolen, that your hands are clean? Like a past president will say, well, I am not aware, my hands are clean, I'm maybe a righteous man and all that. No. Because if Nigeria was a country where we obey the law and prosecute corruption the way it is supposed to be, many of our presidents, past presidents, will have gone down. Because those people who stole the money will implicate them that, look, you approved this, or you collected a certain percentage, or you were part of it. But here, we are in Nigeria where past presidents are almost invisible when it comes to prosecution. Nobody wants to invite them. They have even asked that they should invite one of the former presidents. Has he appeared in court? None of them has ever appeared in court. Yet billions were stolen under his nose.
Okay.
And his name was even mentioned, by the people being prosecuted. But he never, as far as I know, never appeared in court for even one day. So this corruption, if the person at the top doesn't tolerate it, it won't go far. But when it is tolerated by the Oga at the top, the president, the vice president, the governors and the rest, when they tolerate it or they look the other way around and then collect some of the proceeds of the corruption, but ensure that their names are not on it, you have no problem. Then it is maybe the smaller shots that will be prosecuted. And even when they are prosecuted, tell me how many of them have gone to prison, except 2-3 governors. How many of these people have gone to prison?
Since that is,
and even the ones that went to prison, I hope you know that they have been pardoned. And I hope you know that when they are pardoned, it means that it's as if they have never even committed an offense before. They can go into politics again.
Since
so the whole aim is defeated.
There is no, substantial evidence to any of this. We'll just leave it there.
There is. There is.
Yes.
In fact,
Prof.
Femi, Falano, and others have gone to court on some of these matters. Gani, when he was alive in those days, used to go to court. The only problem is that lawyers will tell you it is very difficult to win the case. Why? Because you're dealing with...
All right. Why don't you talk a little about the report by Amnesty International? It has to do with us. It has to do with security. It means, therefore, that it affects every state in Nigeria.
Absolutely. My organization, Amnesty International, has come up with very distressing figures about insecurity on the plateau. In fact, the data only captures 3 local government areas: Mangu, Bokos, and Barikindati. So that is to tell you that this is just a small picture of the general insecurity on the plateau. And the data is only for 3 months. Only 3 months. That's December 2023 to February 2024. And that figure shows that 1,336 people have lost their lives due to insecurity on the plateau. 1,336 people have lost their lives. In addition to that, about 30,000 people have been displaced. You're talking of 29,554. About 30,000 people have been displaced. They have become IDPs in their own localities, in their own state, in their own country. You become an IDP. When people are internally displaced, you'll be thinking that, oh, you know, they go somewhere else, but not in your own country. You're an IDP. In your own state, you're an IDP. In your own local government, you're an IDP. Within only 3 months. 3 months. Barikin Ladi, Bokos, Mangu local government areas. And this is a damning verdict as far as security is concerned on the plateau, as far as security is concerned in Nigeria, that within a period of three months only, that terrorists, bloodthirsty terrorists, have sent more than 1,000 people to their graves. And because of terrorists, we have about 30,000 people that cannot enter their houses, that cannot even have a meaningful life. And I think this is a wake-up call to every one of us, first and foremost, that all of us citizens, we must be security conscious. We must be security conscious. I like what you say, what you said at the beginning, that if you see something, don't just say something, but say what it is. Exactly.
Yes.
Don't just say, because saying something has an implication, maybe you just say something else. But tell us exactly what you're saying. Because I was just talking with a young lady yesterday or the day before. Her in-law was killed around that Kuru area, just opposite Nips.
Yes.
He was shot in the head, shot a number of times around the head, around the nose, and he was macheted. And the young man who saw the corpse at the mortuary said even the worst criminal on earth should not have been killed that way. And this just happened this week. Just this week.
Wow.
We're talking about a few days back. Now, they killed him and they did not even take his car. They left the car there, left the car keys. All they were interested was they killed him and carried his phone along with them, probably to hide some evidence. And that is not the only time that this has happened. Last year, something similar has happened around that same place. That's why there is a security advisory from NIPS that people should be careful moving around that place in the night. And this is not only in around NIPS, but around the city. So insecurity has become a big issue in our country, and especially here in Plateau State. And that is why our security forces must up their game. Up their game means they must be proactive. Now, we should not sit down and wait for bandits or kidnappers or some terrorists to attack maybe Mangu, Barik, and Ladi Bokos or somewhere else before we go after them. Now that currently they are not attacking today, our soldiers, our police force, our military, all security agencies, NSCDC and all the rest of them should be combing the bushes, the streets, the hills. They should be going looking for these criminals because they are within the country. They might be coming from neighboring maybe states into Plateau or neighboring countries and enter. But if we are proactive, we'll go after them and get them. How is it that they will plan attacks and execute those attacks successfully, and we cannot plan to get them successfully? So at this point in time, we'll expect that all the various operations, Save Heaven, Operation Rainbow, Operation Hadarindaji, Operation this, Operation that one, all of them should be combing the forests, the mountains, the hills in Nigeria, looking for these terrorists to deal with them, neutralize them. The president has already given an order. So we should not wait until there is an attack. We should be proactive, and we should use technology. Technology is there, available, for us to use to get rid of these terrorists. I still wonder why we are not using technology effectively. Because even the handphones that we have, you can use it for security purposes. But I know that these security forces even have advanced forms of technology that they can use and track down these criminals, these bloodthirsty, satanic, barbaric, wicked terrorists, neutralize them so that we can have some semblance of security and peace in our country.
Prof, now talking about our communities in the cities now, is there anything to say about how community can be involved and, tackling issues of rampant killings of innocent Nigerians just for some reason you really cannot tell. How can community themselves should be involved in this? We have youths in every community. We have elderly people in every community. We have religious leaders, whatever you have. You have women. What should the community do to help nip this?
Neighborhood security is very important. Where I have stayed in 2, 3, 4 places in just within a period of 4, 5 years, and one of the things that have helped us is neighborhood security. Neighborhood security to protect our own neighborhood. And all of us get involved. It will cost time, it will cost money and other resources. But that is the price you pay for liberty, eternal vigilance. So communities should get involved in organizing some form of neighborhood watches to ensure that if you see a stranger entering your community, don't just turn your face or turn your head the other way and pretend. Find out that stranger, where are you coming from? What do you want to do in this community? And that is to say that you have to know your neighbor. Because if you don't know yourselves in your communities, you won't know when you are infiltrated. Because you see that these criminals, before they attack, they go and study the community.
Yes.
They go and strategize. They map the community before they come to strike.
Maybe even have someone from the community.
In fact, they might be having informants. And that is why when they come for the attacks, it's very easy. Because they already know where to go to. In fact, they know the house of the village head, of the district head, of the traditional ruler. They will just go there straight. They don't need to ask anybody. So
because they communities have done their homework earlier.
They have done their homework. That's why we should be doing our own homework. But one of the things I want to add is that for these community security networks, neighborhood securities, to really be successful, they need to be armed. And that is where the problem is. If they are not armed, and then they are facing 200 men with AK-47, they will not be effective. If they're just carrying sticks, carrying stones, to face 200 men with AK-47, they're on a suicide mission. And this is where the hunters come in. We thank God that we have a number of hunters on the plateau in different communities. We need to have more of them, because these hunters lay down their lives for the security of the communities. These hunters are armed. Their own guns, rifles may not be as sophisticated as that of these terrorists that keep coming into the community. But if we have a good number of hunters and a good number of them are armed in our various communities, then when these terrorists are attacking one community, other hunters from different communities can come as reinforcements, and then I think the damage will greatly be minimized. But the government and indeed the security forces should be thinking about how we can empower these neighborhood securities in terms of arming them. The hunters and those people who are trained in these communities to handle guns, they need to be properly armed. By the time we do that, it will serve as a deterrent to all these terrorists and criminals that come to invade our communities.
All right, thank you so much, Professor. Right now, I'll turn to my right and just, I'll be coming back to you later on, sir. But then, Mr. Victor is in the studio. Mr. Victor, sir, well, let's get to hear a little about the tournament, youth tournament, football youth tournament, right?
Yes.
Let's get it in detail in a moment. So let's hear from you.
Okay, first of all, I want to really thank you for having me, and also thank Unity FM for the immense work of they're putting into seeing how we can talk about peace and peaceful activities. Yes, this tournament is one of the commander's non-kinetic approach in fighting insurgency.
All right.
Of course, you know there are two approaches. Professor has been hammering on the first approach, which is actually the military approach.
All right.
But I'm only going to talk about the non-kinetic.
All right.
Yes. They say 99 years of dialogue is better than 1 year of war. So we have to keep talking, we have to keep engaging, especially the youths. It is why the Commander of Operation Safe Haven thought it wise, and Operation Safe Haven has also thought it wise to have this football tournament.
All right.
And as you do know, football is a uniting factor, where we have 24 local governments participating. Of course, you know, Operation Safe Haven is in 3 states, 2 states, or 3 states, Plateau, Kaduna, and Bauchi.
Yes.
We have 5 local governments in Kaduna State. We have 2 local governments in Bauchi State. And then I think the Plateau State University was also involved. It started at 2023, October. It extended. We had even gotten to this stage by December to play the finals in January, but unfortunately the insurgency in Bokos and Mangu made us, step down this until this moment we're in now. Yes, it has been quite engaging. Youths of diverse ethnic nationalities, tribes and religion have come together to form a union or a forum where they engage themselves week in, week out, traveling, crisscrossing the borders of the state and the local governments to foster unity through peace. So this has been Operation Safe Haven's medium among the non-kinetic approach to seeing how we can actually engage, like Prof was also discussing about the need to have a community setting. And it starts especially with the youths.
Well, thank you. I think I'm aware that this has been on for quite some times now. There is this other one. Is it some sporting activities also going on? I think it's also part of effort from the Operation Safe Haven. Sometimes you find out that people on the streets, into, or is it marathon or something like that too?
Yes, we have marathon competition. In fact, the reason why we did not, we just had some slight adjustments, but we would also be having the marathon this year by the grace of God. In fact, most times we even do it together. The marathon and the football competition, we do it together. Yes, but for this year, I think unfortunately we just had some little issues and we only opted for the football.
Yes. Okay, but since this, you have had several editions of this. So, in your opinion, do you think this approach is in any way helping to ensure, sustainable, peaceful coexistence within the region?
Yes, I'll be honest with you. You would want to believe me when I tell you that even amongst the youths of Plateau, we still don't know ourselves.
So you have discovered a challenge there.
We have discovered a challenge. We have also discovered that even some youth organizations or youth platforms are at logger.
They're just existing in isolation.
But again, the bigger challenge is the youths need to be engaged. They need to be engaged in programs. They need to be engaged in activities like this program or this competition we are undergoing, or we're playing the finals on this. We have brought in scouts to help discover good players amongst those ones who are playing. And we will be giving some of them an opportunity to get contracts in local and international teams. In fact, some agents will be coming on Sunday, which happens to be the day of the finals. We are also intending to give some little gifts to some grassroots football teams to encourage them. But to answer your question straight, I think this tournament has really helped us in understanding one of two challenges when it comes to the issue of the youths, especially in these 3 states.
The youth are beginning to know themselves. So the emphasis now here is that you've been able to now unite the youth through this very non-kinetic
in our own
approach.
little way.
In your own little way, of course. But it is from the little that you have whatever it's called a gigantic thing there or achievement. But then, tell us very briefly again, it's interesting to hear this from you, coming from, representing the Operation Safe Haven to talk about football, and that this is something initiated by this very personnel. And how is this? How is it like the relationship between the military and, of course, do I say civilians now? Because how has it been so far?
Yes, very important. I think this is even the main issue here. You know, this is what you call the civil-military relations. You know, the military in its training seem to be very far from the civil life. But by the insurgencies we're having, we have to bring the military into the cities. So that medium where you try to make them understand, and also the citizens to understand that there's a point we need to be together. Oh, this is what this competition is trying to achieve. And if you've noticed several times, the commander and the GOC does call for what you call a stakeholders meeting to try to understand, to get views, problems, challenges, and to also find solutions. We engage the traditional institution, we engage the religious institutions, the youth, we engage all of them to a platform where we discuss most times. And quickly to add, you know, the Operation Safe Haven is doing this in collaboration with a coalition of youths from Kaduna, Plateau, and Bauchi states. It's a coalition of youths who on their own came together to work with Operation Safe Haven to achieve this mandate.
Oh, that's great. That's lovely, Mr. Victor. Thank you so much. Listener and viewer, it's time again for us to go on another short break. We'll be coming back just in a moment. Please stay tuned.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead. How's your taxpayer mansion? How was your...
Get ready to be entertained and inspired by the incredible stories around the globe. Don't miss out on the excitement. Hello at Work is an ultimate TV program that brings to you the interesting stories and daily happenings worldwide. Join us Mondays and Thursdays 10 a.m. as we dive into the daily happenings and stories. Tune in and stay. Say hello to the world as you bring in your ideas, as it is a perfect blend of entertainment and information. Get ready to stay up to date while being entertained.
Are you bored and need some company? Get a TV experience like no other on Unity TV. We are turning up the hits with captivating TV shows, electrifying political programs, music, movies, and lots more that will leave you craving. I'm sure you want to know more. Tune in to Unity TV today and let the excitement take over.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see see you again. It's been
All right, I'm so glad to say welcome back. This is Unity Trend on Unity 93.3 FM and TV. In the studio earlier on it was Barrister Paul Saruma, but now to my right is Mr. Victor Damtour, and he's here to talk about football on the plateau, and that has to do with Operation Safe Haven. And so to my left it has been Professor Paveno H. Bamayi, and this is the last segment of the program for today and again for this very week. And you need some shock absorber to take you all through the weekend, and so Professor is here for that. Just get ready. You can connect with us on our Facebook page. We're streaming live at Unity Radio FM/TV Chios. Okay, and for a studio line live call is 070-3235-3315. For SMS or text messages is 0808-478-9999. That is it. Look forward to having you on our microphone. Thank you. Before I pick any of your calls, let Mr. Victor and just 1 or 2 minutes to just tell us a little more about the football competition or tournament that is on. Mr. Victor?
Yes, like I was saying, the finals is taking place on Sunday, the 12th of May, at the Rampam Township Stadium.
All right.
It's starting by 1 p.m. Bokos local government would be playing with Barikiladi for the third place.
Oh, BB. Bokos
Barikiladi. And then by 3 o'clock we'll be having Tafa Balewa local government of Bauchi State, who will be playing against Jos South local government of Plateau State.
All right.
For the final position.
Okay, is it free? Get fee?
Yes, it is free. It is free.
All right.
In fact, this we also intend to use your platform to invite people to come and see what we are doing. In fact, we've invited some traditional rulers. We've invited some religious leaders who would also be giving goodwill remarks to our spectators and our audience on that day. Of course, the commander would also be there to also speak more on the essence of why he has chosen to organize this.
Oh, lovely. Thank you so much, Mr. Victor. Yes. Yes, you can begin to call the studio line now. It's 070-3235-3315. Your name, location. In a minute, let's have your submissions. And remember also that comments made on this platform and not in any way the position of Unity 93.3 FM. And again, stay away from comments that have in their being the capacity to undermine the integrity of an individual or group of individuals, government, or even fellow callers. So please do well to contribute and support our efforts to ensure sustainable, peaceful coexistence. That's what we desire more even on this platform. Be a part of it. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Kubi.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Professor in the house.
Good morning.
Thank you.
My name is Narude Bro, calling from Terminus.
Mr. Kingsley,
Look, you see, whenever I heard your voice, I'm always happy. Because God will keep you because you are telling us the truth.
Thank you.
Even if the politician doesn't know, we follow us, we know.
Thank you.
Because I remember when I was in Dubai, I traveled to China. A governor in China took a car for her first daughter to do her wedding. You understand? So what happened is, he didn't take permission from federal government of Federal Republic of China. They went and got the daughter. Why are you using our car to wedding? Say it was my dad that gave me. They not okay. They leave the daughter. They ask the father. The father says, yes, I'm the one that gave it to her. They say, why? He said, because I'm excited that my first daughter is getting wedding. You understand? That governor today, they sentenced him death behind it. By no obeying the law of the China. You understand? If our law is working here in Nigeria, I don't think that all these are politicians. They will be using us as a rag, playing us with the hanky-panky. Because one, they know that if they approve the sentence by those who is losing our money, they will not do that. Where they are interested, those that are looking for that, those drug people. You understand? They are
you.
Supposed to do that. Let them start testing it at home. Let them start from that test. Let them start from that test. Then we will learn lessons.
Thank you.
Let them base sentence that those who stay Nigerian money, beg by hanging. Then let us see how Nigeria will not go better.
Thank you.
Did I know what is called drug? Do you know what is called drug? They know that the people sponsoring those drugs, people. God bless you and bless our country, Nigeria.
Thank you so much. All right. Good morning, Unity Trend. Jamaat Mubarak. May Allah give us the best in this world and hereafter. Wishing you people all the best. And it's coming from Abubakar Ishaq from our Facebook page. In between calls, this is what I'll do. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. I greet your guest.
Thank you for calling.
Pastor Eric from Refuge here.
It's wonderful to have you, Pastor Eric.
Thank you very much.
You have a minute.
Well, analysis by your guest. You know, when you talk issue of insecurity, method and ways to handle it, he's just saying a lot there. But our major problem is for them, for those who are concerned, both the government and the community to carry out this assignment the way it's supposed to be to reduce the losses that we are having in Plateau and many other parts of the country. Having said this, my brother,
yes,
I am with World Bank and obnoxious laws that is imbibed or accepted by this government. It's not going to help our economy to grow. Like people said.
Yes.
In a struggling economy, where every part of this country you see people more like living for themselves and by themselves.
All right.
Government is not really helping anybody in the country except those that is in the helm of affairs running the government. You struggle to make ends meet.
Thank you.
In all sense of it. What are we talking about? Unleashing taxation in the life of Nigerians.
Thank you, Pastor Eric.
It will not work. This is not TUC problem or labor problem. The office of the citizens of this country should rise up and say no to this law that will be taking money out of the pocket of Nigerians. This is the same system that was running Lagos when Mr. Tudumbu was the governor there.
Okay.
They make obnoxious law. If you buy television coming out of the shop, they will tell you water. And then you'll be exploited and collected money.
Thank you so much.
Point and the gates and boundaries in Lagos.
Pastor Eric, thank you. Thank you so much. We have gotten your point. Thank you. Okay, truly appreciate Pastor Eric is one of the very many I look forward to seeing.
Cyber security law is causing an uproar around the country.
Yes.
It's a trending issue, the 0.05% deduction that CBN has authorized all, you have GSM operators, banks, POS, all those ones, to deduct from transactions. Of course, there is a little debate whether this deduction should only come from organizations, businesses, and all the rest of them, or including individuals. But the timing is completely wrong.
Okay,
whichever way they want to do it, I think the 0.05% deduction in the name of cyber security that CBN has authorized to be carried out, the timing is completely wrong. Nigerians are fed up and tired of all these multiple, taxes and deductions taking place. Nigerians have not recovered from the oil subsidy issue. Nigerians have not recovered from electricity tariffs. Now they are talking about, cyber security deductions.
Okay, Prof, we have another caller here. Hello, good morning.
Marisa in the house, good morning.
Thank you. You're welcome. Go on in a minute.
I want to emphasize on the issue of insecurity.
Okay.
About many students were kidnapped. They are trying to do their exam at Kogi State. It's very, very unfortunate. They are pleading to the government of the day to do the needful.
All right.
So that at least insecurity will stop properly in Nigeria. And I'm still pleading to those that are trading at a terminus market that wants to foment trouble with the government to this or that. so that we have a peaceful atmosphere of Plateau.
Thank you. Your
Thank
name?
you very much.
Your name? All right. I guess that was Mr. Jude Sad from Apata community. Okay. Good morning, Kubi, and the professor and the barrister in the studio. May Allah reward you for the great work you are doing out there. Happy Jumat Mubarak to a Muslim faithful out there, and happy Sunday in advance. We pray for a better Nigeria of our dreams, and it's coming from Favor Esther Bolus. Thank you, Favor Esther, from our Facebook page. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Thank you. Your name?
I'm the top. How is work?
Work is fine. Bless God.
God bless you.
Thank you.
You're doing a very nice job there. I appreciate you, honestly.
Thank you.
My name is Azitelo. I'm calling from Kenya.
All right, Azitelo, you have a minute.
Yes. I think for me, this is my way to that federal government, they are trying to increase or to reduce politics.
Mm-hmm.
For me, personally, indeed, let me tell you, I don't support this because they are doing the good purpose, but after all, the corruption will not allow them to do the needful because they are suffering because of removing subsidies for the price. Up to now, the common man cannot see on ground. They are suffering.
All right.
Up to now, they are doing all this politics again.
Okay.
Doing something where our leaders to be sincere.
All right, thank you.
Politics, so that to bring nice things for all.
Thank you so much.
Very, very difficult. I pray that God will help us. God bless Nigeria. How can I do it?
Thank you for calling, Mr. Azitelo from Congo. Okay, text messages. This one say, good morning, Kobe, and our regular guest in the house for the wonderful job you have been doing to humanity, especially the profs. Every morning motivations. Yes, we remain grateful. God bless you all. Thank you. There is no name. Next time, please just put in your name. We'll appreciate. Good morning, Mr. Kubi, Professor PH, and Barrister Paul Zaruma. I sincerely condole with the family of Tijani Babangida for loss of Ibrahim Babangida. This is a great loss to the golden eagles. Okay, may his gentle soul rest in peace. Amen. Thank you, Ismail Isa Jos. Thank you, Ismail. And this one says, thank God it's a Friday. I wish you all a happy weekend. Unity FM, Kubi, Prof B, and Barista Zaruma. I pray for unity and peace in the Plateau and Nigeria. Talking about drug trafficking. What about money laundering? May God help the common man. Amen. Daniel Adam, the lady from Carbon Satellite Market. If you see something, say something. All right, this has been turned into if you see something, say the thing. That's what it is now for us on this platform. Good morning, sir. Our politicians steal so much that they don't know what to do with the loot. So their children take to using drugs and becoming useless. Now they blame the drug traffickers in their haste to blame drugs for their wars. They forget there is something called karma. Sele Lamingo. Thank you. Another one says, Bulus Uhoman Esther in Faringada, good morning. Kubi and the professor, the barrister, Larry Wajubo for educating us and the general public free of charge. The happy Juma Mubarak to our Muslim faithful out there, and happy Sunday in advance. We pray for permanent peace in Plateau State and Nigeria at large. Thank you, Esther Bulus. And finally, maybe, good morning, Kubi and our amiable, consistent and passionate analyst, Professor Abamayi, Barrister Zaruma, and the guest. Honestly, sport also promotes peaceful coexistence among the youth people. Okay, kudos to the organizers of this competition, Jimat Karim, to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Peace is priceless. Let's live in peace. God bless Unity FM. God bless Nigeria. And it's coming from Christy Isang from Rukuba Road. And now I'll just let Mr. Victor to take us on a ride, finalizing on the issue of football as a means to enhance peaceful coexistence. Mr. Victor.
Okay, thank you once again. I think I want to insist and I want to hammer on the issue of football, especially as it regards Plateau State. Kobe, if you notice the trajectory over the years now, there seem to be no national team in the history of Nigeria that has not had at least 4 or 5 Plateau persons. When I say Plateau persons, I'm
people whom have gone through Plateau, whether as indigenous,
so
citizens.
Plateau seem to be a breeding and a breeding ground for great talents, especially in the field of football.
You know, that's what I say. Plateau is an incubator of great minds.
Yeah, of great minds. And you see, we're comparative advantage we should be taken. We should put a lot of emphasis, we should put a lot of interest. If you go around the city and streets of Jos, you see great talents who don't even have a ball. Teams who don't have balls to even use. Players don't have canvases to use for training. You understand? So I want to really see a situation where our leaders, I mean political leaders, would create a platform for this engagement the more.
Okay.
But this time maybe for empowerment reasons. We have lots of scouts. I was at the Justantry Stadium yesterday. I saw a group of white scouts from Europe. They are undergoing scouting program. So they seem to even know more now than us.
Yes.
That talents abound here. We have great players of Plateau.
And this is not to even mention those whom we have in entertainment industry, movie, film industry.
It seems as though Plateau should now begin to look at itself from this inside now.
Inward.
Of
course.
The youth of Plateau. Entertainment, you can call the number of artists we have making waves in the world from who now all started their trades here. And lots of other more who are also trying to strive.
Right. So I think Operation Safe Haven got it right by just tilting towards what most youths on the Plateau are passionate about. Football. So it now use what the people love to now use it to enhance peaceful coexistence. Is that what you're saying?
Kobe, you need to see the enthusiasm anytime games are played across these local governments. In fact, you see where, of course, we have made it such that every team must register players of different ethnic nationalities in the team.
Oh, these are some of the prerequisites.
Yes, these are prerequisites, yes, before you are registered. You must register the HAUSA, Fulani youths, the Mighty Allah.
From every
to form a team. If not, you will not be registered.
All right. Wow.
We know that this is just a little way of trying to see how we can change some orientations.
How I wish you come back for this, because you're just revealing one aspect of it that I love so much, but there is no time for us to continue. So please, yourself and your team would have to find it worthy. Just try and come back again and we discuss at length.
Yes, I think
before you register, you are allowed to play. You have to have people from other ethnic nationalities forming the same team.
And you know, also we have ethnic nationalities from others, like Yorubas, Igbos, who are residents in the local government. So they must form the crux of the team.
So there's no segregations. Wow, I love this, but it's quite unfortunate. We have to be away from it. But then, Prof, I know there is no how you will not say a thing, especially how to encourage and appreciate Operation Safe Haven for this laudable initiative. Yes, and then the shock absorber, of course, too.
It's a wonderful initiative by Operation Safe Haven. Kudos and bravo, Operation Safe Haven. You're doing a fantastic job, bringing the youths together from all over Plateau State and beyond for this sporting event. I want to encourage people, go out there, be part of this event at the Rongpang Stadium over this weekend. Attend each of the events and the finals taking place on Sunday. You know, this is the non-kinetic approach to peace and security. By the time we play together, we will not be fighting together.
We see reason to live together, tolerate.
So we see reason to live together because we become friends, you know.
Yes.
That's why you see that some of these footballers that are in the same team are friends for life.
Yes.
So it's wonderful when we come together and we watch football. You know, football is one game and one event that unites the whole of Nigeria. At that point, there is no Biram, there is no Angas, there is no Yoruba or Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, or Muslim or Christian or traditionalist. We are all one Nigeria.
And sharing for
each other up. So it's fantastic, and we thank Operation Save Heaven for that wonderful job. Please keep it up and let it continue. And we hope that other people can learn from Operation Save Heaven and emulate this fantastic good example that Operation Save Heaven is giving unto us. For the weekend, I want to remind us, Nigerians, please don't give up. Things may be difficult, may be challenging, may be tough. Last night, I attended an online service of a congregation I used to belong to in Southeast Asia. And the person speaking was narrating the time some young men years ago came to that particular city, and they were struggling, and things were difficult for them. But he's saying that now today those young people graduated from the university in that last city where I stayed in Malaysia, Kota Baru, Kelantan state of Malaysia, have raised 2.5 million Malaysian ringgits for a project. 2.5 million Malaysian ringgit is about 500 million naira. And these young people have raised about 500 million naira for a project. Once upon a time, they were struggling. Once upon a time, things were difficult and tough for them. But as the years went on, they persisted, they persevered, they graduated, they made investments. Today, they're established and they're authorities in their own fields. And I want to encourage you, please don't give up. Things might be difficult right now. You're a farmer, keep farming, keep investing in that farming project, and turn that farming not just to subsistence farming, let it become a business where you can make money out of it. And you have a project at hand and things are challenging and difficult. Don't give up.
All right.
Aspire to acquire what you require in life. And when you don't acquire, don't retire. Keep refiring. And let me tell you that tough times don't last. It is tough people that do. And winners don't quit. And quitters don't win. So keep pushing on. Keep soldiering on. Nigeria must not limit you. You as an individual, you must decide that no matter how difficult, how tough things are, as far as I'm concerned, I'm going to make it in the midst of the challenges. Remember, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Have a wonderful weekend.
Why don't we say this as we round up for today, that no matter the economy of the jungle, the lion,
the lion will still eat prey.
All right.
The lion will eat meat. The lion will never eat grass.
That is it. So please, no matter how hard it is at the moment, please don't just give up. Nigeria is a great country. What matters is that you don't give up, and that's all. Okay, it has been Professor Pavena Hitsbama here in the studio, and Mr. Victor. Okay, we look forward to have more of you. The crew who made this possible, I truly appreciate our GSM engineer, Muhammad Narugu. Salute, thank you so much. Every other person. Okay, JED, look into the electricity issue at Utan. Madam Peace just called earlier on. And everyone, do have yourself a lovely weekend. Don't forget, community broadcast is coming your way on our radio arm. So, see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Mr. Politician, it's good to see you again. It's been so long since you've been here. You had me thinking you were dead.